The Mantric Path of Alryn. A three-part tale of breath, word, and spirit. Part I. The book that must not be opened in the wind. The young monk's name was Alryn. He had grown up in the remote monastery of the Morning Breath, perched on a ledge of a great jade mountain. The monks there believed that their mantras breathed with the wind of the world and that only a spirit unclouded by vice could command them. From childhood, Alryn possessed an unusual sensitivity to sound. Every vibration in the air, every whisper of the wind resonated within him as if carrying a hidden meaning, as though nature itself spoke its own language. Because of this gift, the elders entrusted him with one of their rarest relics, the Book of the Unopened Echo, an ancient tome never to be opened outdoors. If exposed to the open wind, its pages would begin to murmur on their own, and call forth the elements. Yet Alryn was even more fascinated by the mantric cards, small slivers of whitewood, each engraved with a miniature mantra designed for swift use. These cards were precious tools, able to save a life in the blink of an eye. A call from the valley. One evening, a breathless boy from the village of Hollowgrove raced into the monastery courtyard. He could barely force the words out. The mist, a breathing mist, it's swallowing everything in the valley. People are disappearing, the elders say it's a curse. The elders exchanged grave glances. A breathing mist. They had heard legends of such a thing, a spectral haze born of broken vows, drifting down from the forgotten shrines in the mountains. Master Ihala, the eldest monk, placed his hand on Alryn's shoulder. Go, he said simply. Take the book. And the cards you deem worthy. Alryn bowed, though dread and excitement twined within him. He selected 6 mantric cards: Wind Ward, Clear Sight, Binding Thread, Step of the Skylark, Silver Resonance, and Vessel of Light. Then he wrapped the Book of the Unopened Echo in 3 layers of silk and descended the long stone path toward Hollowgrove. The breathing mist. By the time Alryn reached the outskirts of the valley, night had fallen. The trees stood unnaturally still. A cold whiteness slid between the trunks, not drifting like normal fog, but moving with intention, expanding and contracting like lungs. He whispered a stabilizing mantra. Sarava, Tying, Halem. Let breath become light. A faint shimmer formed around him, as if the air turned slightly crystalline. The mist reacted. It inhaled sharply. Trees bent toward it. Grass flattened. A distant scream was swallowed whole. Alryn didn't hesitate. He flicked a card into the air, Silver Resonance. It burst into a circle of runes, chiming like struck crystal. The mist recoiled, quivering. Good, Alryn breathed. You can hear me. He opened the silk bundle, just one corner. Enough for one page to slip free. Enough for one line of forbidden power to whisper into the night. The page shivered. The wind stirred. A voice like layered echoes spoke from the page. Name the breath you fear. Alryn pointed at the mist. This one. The book inhaled. A great gust erupted from the page, not outward, but inward, dragging the breathing haze toward it like a tremendous vacuum of sound. The mist screamed silently, its form unraveling, until it collapsed into a single streak of white vapor and was devoured by the page's whisper. The wind died. Silence fell. The truth revealed. In the village, the missing people were found unconscious but alive. Their spirits had been drained, not destroyed. Alryn spent the night chanting the Vessel of Light mantra over each of them, returning breath and warmth. The next morning, a trembling elder told him. Child, this was no curse. That mist was seeking you. It was the remnant of a mantra miscast, a living echo. Someone, somewhere, used the sacred words without understanding them. Alryn froze. A living echo. A runaway mantra. Someone else out there had begun walking the mantric path, without guidance, without discipline. He bowed deeply to the villagers and returned to the mountain with a single certainty. His journey had only begun. Part 2. The mirror that sings your true name. Months passed. Alryn became the monastery's foremost tracker of wandering echoes, mantras that had slipped from human control and gained a will of their own. Yet nothing troubled him more than the mystery of the first echo, the breathing mist. Who had unleashed it? Why had it sought him? His answer came from the unlikeliest messenger. A falcon made of folded sunlight. It landed before him during morning meditation, unfolded into rays, and formed shimmering words in midair. Seek the lake of quiet souls. A mantra calls you by name. The message vanished, leaving behind a single mantric card unlike any he owned, smoother, warmer, inscribed with shifting symbols. When he touched it, he felt a whisper. Your path has been seen. The lake of quiet souls. The lake lay deep within a forest where even the wind refused to speak. The surface was so still it reflected the sky with impossible clarity, not as it was, but as it might be. Alryn approached with reverence. A soft hum rose from the shore. There, half buried in white sand, lay an object shaped like a shard of ice. No, not ice. Glass. A piece of a mirror, engraved with faint mantras along its rim. When Alryn lifted it, the surface brightened and a voice rang out. Alryn. He nearly dropped it. Only true mantric artifacts could speak one's name with such precision, the kind that saw beyond flesh and into spirit. The mirror fragment began to glow, projecting a vision. A young woman in traveling robes, chanting before a ruined shrine. Her hands trembled as she spoke a mantra beyond her skill. The air twisted. The shrine cracked. And a white mist burst from the rubble and flew down the mountainside. Alryn whispered, "So it was you." The mirror answered. The apprentice seeks atonement. The singing mirror's trial. Before he could react, the shard pulsed, and the water of the lake rose around him like a curtain. Not drowning, but enclosing him in a sphere of liquid glass. The surface displayed reflections of dozens of versions of himself. Each reflection whispered a different mantra. Some he recognized. Some he feared. Some were temptations, shortcuts to power. This was the mirror's trial. Choose the mantra that matches your true path. One reflection caught his eye, a version of himself holding the mysterious card delivered by sunlight. That reflection softly chanted. Let truth be gentle, but unbroken. A mantra of inner resonance, one used to align spirit with intention. Alryn repeated it. The water shattered into harmless rain. The shard of mirror settled in his hands, now whole and uncracked. It spoke a final time. Find the girl. She carries more than guilt. She carries a mantra unborn. The forest wind, which had been silent for centuries, exhaled softly, as if acknowledging the beginning of a far greater journey. Part 3. The mantra that the world forgot. For weeks, Alryn followed the trace left by the mirror shard, a faint shimmer in the air, as if someone had brushed reality with invisible fingers. It led him through valleys of petrified wind, across bridges woven from moonlight, and into abandoned sanctuaries where broken mantras still echoed like distant bells. Everywhere he went, he found signs of the same girl. She always seemed to be only a day ahead, or a lifetime behind. The final trail ended at the Valley of Hollow Voices, a place the monks feared above all others. It was said that every mantra ever silenced, either by fear, or loss, or forbidden decree, left behind a whisper in this valley. And when too many whispers gathered, they woke the girl who spoke in half mantras. Alryn found her at the base of a cracked stone pillar covered in ancient glyphs. She was kneeling, shoulders trembling, and when she looked up, her eyes were ringed with exhaustion. "I know why you're here," she said before he could speak. "You saw it, the mist. I thought I could control it. I thought I could fix the shrine." "What is your name?" Alryn asked gently. "Lyra." Her voice shook on the second syllable, as if even her name carried a fracture. The mirror shard at Alryn's belt pulsed. Master Ihala's voice echoed in memory. "A mantra broken can be recast. But a mantra half-born is dangerous beyond measure." "Lyra," Alryn said softly, "why were you chanting at that shrine at all?" She clutched her pack to her chest. "Because I have a mantra inside me. One I never learned. One I woke up with." She pulled out a small leather-bound journal. Every page was filled with partial symbols, sketches of sounds, fragments of runes, incomplete gestures. Not one page was whole. "It comes to me in dreams," she whispered. "A mantra that doesn't exist. Or maybe it did, once. I don't know what it does. I only know it's calling me. And if I don't complete it..." Her voice cracked. "Something else will." The hollow voices awaken. The air behind them shuddered. Whispers leaked from the cracks in the valley floor. Thousands of them. Soft, broken, hungry. The forgotten mantras. The ones never finished. The ones left unsaid. Lyra gasped. "They're drawn to the incomplete, to the void in me." A cyclone of shadowed whispers spiraled upward, forming a shape, not a creature, not a spirit, but an absence of form. A hollow silhouette made of gaps and unspoken syllables. Alryn's skin prickled. He recognized the phenomenon from the monastery texts. A null echo, born from a mantra that should have been spoken but never was. The null echo extended an arm toward Lyra. Where its hand passed, the world itself dimmed, color fading, sound thinning. It wanted her mantra. Or wanted her silence. Perhaps both. Alryn stepped forward. "No." He threw 3 mantric cards into the air. Binding thread. Step of the skylark. Silver resonance. But the null echo devoured them. They disintegrated into blank white dust. "Alryn!" Lyra cried. "Nothing you cast will hold it, it feeds on unfinished magic." Then Alryn remembered the trial of the singing mirror. Truth must be gentle, but unbroken. He turned to Lyra. "You said you have a mantra inside you," he said. "One that came unbidden." She nodded. "Then let me help you finish it." "The unborn mantra." Lyra hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. She took his hands. The forgotten valley roared as the null echo approached, its hollow form widening into a maw of silence. Alryn spoke. "Breathe." She inhaled. The world inhaled with her. "Speak only the first sound," Alryn whispered. Lyra closed her eyes. And spoke a single syllable. "Ra." The null echo shrieked. Alryn felt the syllable vibrating through him, through the valley, through the mirror shard at his belt. Now the second. Lyra's voice steadied. "V." The hollow voices recoiled. Runes lit up across the valley floor. Alryn realized, awestruck. It's a restoring mantra. One meant to restore the mantras that were never finished. Help me complete it, Lyra pleaded. Alryn joined her, channeling his breath, his spirit, his training. Together, they spoke the final line. Revanti I solemn. Let all broken echoes become whole again. The world ignited in golden wind. Every forgotten whisper in the valley rose as a streak of light. The null echo convulsed, its hollow body filling with radiance, not erasing it, but completing it. And then, it bowed. Where a monster had stood, now hovered a luminous shape, serene, filled with the mantras of ages long lost. It dissolved into motes of light. The ground stilled. The valley breathed again. Lyra collapsed into Alryn's arms, laughing and crying all at once. I did it, she whispered. No, we did. You brought back a mantra the world had forgotten, Alryn said softly. That makes you a true practitioner. She looked at him, and for the first time, her eyes held no fear. Then my journey starts today. Will you walk some of it with me? Alryn smiled. Where there are mantras, there is always a path. And I would be honored. Epilogue. Weeks later, two figures left the monastery of the morning breath, one carrying the book of the unopened echo, the other carrying a newly restored mantra that hummed with ancient light. Side by side, they walked toward the distant mountains, where countless forgotten echoes still waited to be found. Thus began the era of the twin voices, Alryn, the listener of echoes, and Lyra, the weaver of unborn songs. And wherever they traveled, miracles followed.